Hello and welcome back to the Potted Together podcast. My name is Adam and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts Becca and Nicole.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Adam, is it hard? Is it hard for you to like remember which introduction to do now that you're on multiple podcasts?
Yeah, no, because this one's my default one.
Oh, so it's like when you get over there, you're like, oh wait, you're not Adam. I mean, you're not Nicole and Becca.
No, but when I was practicing with my mic setup for that podcast, I kept saying,
"Did you?"
Your guys' names when I was practicing. And I was like, I really gotta stop this.
It's like you're talking about the other girl in front of the new girl. It's like you keep bringing up your eggs.
The scandal.
Awkward. Oh my gosh, that is my biggest fear, is that I would accidentally call Daniel one of my ex's names. But it's been so long that I think I'm in the clear that I'm not going to do that. But my most recent ex before Daniel, his name was David. Ooh. And like at the beginning it was hard. Like I think I did call him David like one time, but like I was like, Daniel, what's up?
Oh, gosh.
I think I'm in the clear now, though.
Yeah.
I think you are, too. That would be incredibly awkward.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Ooh. Can you imagine? Ooh. One time I said the word heaven, and he thought I said Kevin.
Oh.
In a let's just say a compromised position, and he goes, "What?" And I said, "Oh, heaven, heaven, not Kevin, heaven."
Oh no!
It was really awkward. Anyway, so don't say the wrong name, Adam.
That feels like it was meant for Patreon.
Yeah, right.
Well, sign up for our Patreon if you. Hey, I gave little to no details.
I know.
I could have been upset about something else, but who knows what I was doing in that moment.
I know, but now I'm like, well, why did the word heaven come up in that?
Yeah, we need to continue this on Patreon. We have a lot of questions.
Anyway, guys, welcome. Welcome to the podcast. A podcast that's about friendship and plants. Mostly friendship, a little bit of plants. That's the drill. The girls who know.
Yes.
Today we're going to be doing a planty update. But first, we always do our catch-ups. So, Nicole, I've decided instead of us being like, who wants to go first? I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to be a teacher.
Okay.
Nicole.
Okay. I'm up.
Let's hear about your week.
Well, guys, I've been waiting for this catch up since Monday. So let's tell a little story time, okay? I feel like I'm going to take up most of this catch up. Anyway, Monday was an ordinary day. You know, we woke up the same time we usually do. Jay usually wakes up after me.
Ordinary day. Sorry.
That's okay. Jay usually wakes up a little later than I do. So, like, I'm upstairs usually by 8 o'clock. Now earlier because now the kids are back in school. But anyway, I know it's too early for this shit, to be honest. But anyway, so Jay's usually upstairs by like 9 o'clock, and then I'll make breakfast. So it was like right around 9 o'clock, and he calls me, and I bring the dogs upstairs with me too when I come upstairs, which is relevant for my story. He calls me and he's like, "You're not going to believe this shit." And I'm thinking like, what now? What now? We've had some like things happen the past few weeks. I'm like, just don't tell me anything bad. And he's like, well, I went to go open up the bedroom door and there is a bat in the basement. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So those of you that may be just joining us, me and my husband live with my parents.
Is that what's on the wall behind you?
Shut up. Do not. we live together. So me and my husband, we have like the basement area of the house, and my parents are upstairs. But when you think of a bat scenario, you're thinking of it being like in the attic, in the top part of the house, not in the freaking basement, right? Anyway, I thought he was seeing shit, and I'm always second guessing things that he says because I was like, are you sure? Are you sure it wasn't maybe a bird or like a cicada? Maybe like a really big cicada? And he's like, no, it was a bat. It was flying erratically, and it had a wingspan like the size of my arm. And I was like, oh, fantastic. Perfect.
What? Are bats that big?
Gosh.
Well, yeah. So from the little bit of research I did, apparently they can fit into openings 3/8 of an inch big, which I should have put a disclaimer on before I started talking. Like, if you have a fear of bats, I know. You might want to skip over like the next 10 minutes. Yeah. Isn't that wild? Like, that's so small. So he's downstairs, and I was like, well, you have to get upstairs. Like, we have to call somebody. Like, I don't want you to get bit, because like the stigma, I guess, behind bats is that they all have rabies, which is not true. After more research I did, apparently.
Look at you being a bat apologist.
I feel bad. Like,
They don't have rabies, okay?
Don't think that they all have rabies because they're cute and some don't, okay? But like, so we're probably thinking that it just came, like, because we have a couple closets that are unfinished, and the furnace area is also unfinished. So we're thinking that it had to have like been in the wall somehow, like got in from outside and was in the wall. And yeah, I know. Their faces are like, what? So we called Palatine Animal Control, and someone came out, and he looked everywhere and he couldn't find this thing. Like, couldn't find it anywhere. He was here for over an hour and just could not find it. And we closed the upstairs door. So there's no like door down here leading to outside, no windows that open out. They're screened in. So it could not have came in from downstairs. And it had to have still been down here. So we're like, where is this thing, you know? So Tuesday comes and goes, and I told Jay, I was like, I'm not sleeping down there. Like, I cannot sleep down there. We called this wildlife place that came out. This guy was also here for like an hour. He looked, he couldn't find it. It was like $500 later for no result.
What?
I know. So we were really pissed because we were like, well, you know, the dogs are fine. Like, they have their rabies shots, but like, if we were to get bit by a bat and it did have rabies, it would be bad. It would be a bad situation, you know? And then I'm reading all this stuff that says, like, if you do have a bat in your house, and like, chances of you knowing you got bit are slim to none, because their teeth are so small that they could be on you. You could get bit and not even know it. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was freaking out, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
So
rightfully so. I would freak out too. That's not good.
So Jay slept downstairs in the room with like a towel under the door. And I was upstairs in Tia's room. I was like, this is not happening. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it till we find this thing. But we had someone scheduled to come out on Wednesday. So I was like, he was going to check like the whole house, the attic and everything, make sure there were no bats in the attic, blah, blah, blah. So I told him, I was like, you sleep downstairs Monday night, and if you don't see anything, I'm going to assume maybe it left. Maybe it like went back out, you know? So Tuesday night, you know, we don't see anything all day. I came downstairs, we're looking, nothing. We were about to fall asleep at 11:30 on Tuesday night, and we hear Prime like shake in his bed. Like, sometimes they'll get up and they'll shake, and then they'll turn around and like lay back down. And his bed is in the living room. Our room is like, you could see their bed from our bed. So he says that he hears him, because I'm like almost asleep at this point. I didn't even hear him do that. And Jay said he heard him on the floor. So he like sat up in bed, and the bat just like flew past our bedroom door. He's like, the bat's back. It's back. And these wildlife workers were like, if you see it again and you feel comfortable, like, don't take your eyes off of it, because then at least you have a clear idea of where it's at. If you could throw a towel over it until somebody can get there. I'm like, what? Like, I don't think I could do that, you know? This thing was flying so erratically, you guys. Like, it was bumping into the walls. It was slamming into the door.
No.
I felt so bad.
They're blind.
Are they blind?
Well,
or their vision isn't good for, like, it's not our vision. It's good for other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they use sonar.
Also, another myth is that, like, bats don't like light, which they're nocturnal. So, like, obviously they don't like light. But we were also told that we could keep the lights on in the basement 24/7 and it's not going to matter. They're still going to come out at nighttime. So, like, overnight. So, of course, Jay's got all the fucking lights on downstairs, you know? Anyway. So this bat's flying around erratically. And I was like, we need to keep our eyes on it, though, you know? So I'm texting my mom. Jay texts Ted. Ted comes downstairs. He's got a towel in his hand. He's half asleep. It's midnight. He's half asleep. He's like, where is it? Where did it go? And, like, we're searching for this bat. We finally found it. We locked it in the room that's, like, right here behind me in the furnace room. And we called the wildlife place again. And, well, we called the place that came out that was $500 because they told us that we can call them anytime during the night and they would come back out. So in my head, I'm like, okay, that means that the service is covered through this till you get here on Wednesday.
Oh, no.
They're like, well, it's going to be a $550 emergency charge. Ted's like, no, hang up, call the cop, like, call 911 because they transfer you to the Palatine Wildlife Department. Mm-hmm. So we called them back. 3 cops come in with, like, flashlights. They pull up in squad cars out in front. And I'm like, we're kind of new to this neighborhood. What are people going to think?
Oh my gosh. Wait,
so
they literally, they sent police officers to take care of the bat?
Yeah, so
add that to the list of shit that police officers are responsible for and poorly trained to do. Like, what?
No, these guys were young, probably early 20s if I could guess. They looked like they have not had this much fun in a really long time. So I was like, hey, at least we can, like, provide some amusement for you guys, you know? Like, one guy came in with a net. The other 2 guys were there for, like, emotional support, I guess. I don't know. But they're downstairs and they're all fitting into this tiny room with all this equipment. And they're looking for this bat because we heard it crawling on the wall. Oh my gosh. And then they make this, like, high-pitch sonar noise. Like, it sounds like electronics. Like, it's so high-pitch. Anyway, they find it. And the guy's like, it's right there. It's on the floor. And he's like, we got to get the net. They're in this room, no joke, for, like, 20 minutes struggling with this bat. To get it in the net. And
what if you opened the door and all 3 of them were dead?
Oh my God. I would write a book, I swear to God. So then they're in there for like 20 minutes and they finally get it and Ted's just like, don't let it go, you know? So they finally catch the bat. Thank God. My mom slept through the whole thing, never answered a text, didn't hear the bell, didn't hear the dogs barking.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I know.
That's hilarious.
She woke up the next morning, was like, what happened? Anyway. So yeah. So long story short, they caught the bat. We had someone come out yesterday to inspect the house and they found bat droppings in the attic, but no sign of any actual bats, which they would have been sleeping at that time. So they would have been up there if there were, like, a colony of them or anything. But most of the time, if you see a bat, there's usually more because they usually don't travel by themselves. So I thought that was kind of weird. But he thinks that he may have just gotten in and just didn't know how to get out and, like, got in through the attic and, like, crawled through the wall looking for food and water. But you know what's sad? Because I was like, they had the bat and they were walking upstairs to go take it outside. And I was like, okay, so you're going to let it go? And they're like, no, unfortunately, we can't let it go. We have to kill it. And I was like, why? And they said they have to kill it because they have to test it for rabies. And the only way to do that is through brain matter.
Yeah, they could cut off the head.
I didn't know this. And I was like, oh no, here I thought we were, like, being as humane as possible and, like, catch and release, you know? Like, no.
Yeah.
So they have to
Wait,
test it
why
because
Oh, sorry, you're about to answer my question. Go ahead.
the reason they have to test it is because it came in contact like with us. We didn't know how long it was down there for. We could have gotten bit in our sleep. The dogs could have gotten bit. So they have to test it for rabies. But, you know, the one guy that came out said that he did a study between like 2001 to 2016, and they tested over 1,900 bats, and only 5 came back positive for rabies. So I feel like most don't have it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's been my week. We don't have a bat in the house anymore, but I think we have to patch up some holes on the outside of the house. Like there's just a couple where, but when you think about 3/8 of an inch, like what the hell? Like you get a crack in your foundation. It's so nuts.
Yeah.
So.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's been a week. It's been a doozy. Mia started high school today. That's my other update, which I'm so excited for her, but she also doesn't know anyone going to this school because, you know, we moved here from the city, so all her friends stayed in the city. And it's such a big school. Like, she's just this tiny little thing in this huge sea of people. And she's sending me updates, and she hasn't really met any friends yet, but she'll be fine. She joined some clubs.
Yeah.
She'll find her people.
I can't imagine what it would be like. I would hate it personally, but yeah, she will find friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
She will. She will. If it gives you any consolation or any comfort, my first day of 7th grade was like my experience in like a new school and stuff. And I didn't have a single friend. I ate lunch by myself, but eventually this like one boy came up to me and introduced himself, and then he like introduced me to all of his friends. And then I had friends, and I was friends with those people for most of my middle school and high school experience. So
Yeah.
someone will put their neck out for her. She'll make friends.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, she joined 4 different clubs, and that's I feel like that's where you meet people, because it's hard to make friends in classes. You know, you're in class. So I'm sure she'll be fine, but I was a little nervous this morning.
Yeah, for
Little
such a
mama
big
bear.
school. Like, that's a huge school.
Yeah. Yeah. There's thousands of kids, thousands. And
That's
it's
crazy.
not what she's used to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's such a sweetie.
Yeah. But anyway, how was your week, Becca?
This week has gone by so fast. It's weird. Like, time is moving really fast now. It feels like there was like a summer slur. I don't know. Summer blur where everything was running together and it was all very slow. And now it's like speeding through. Like, we're already halfway through August basically. But
Yeah.
so yeah, the week hasn't really been that exciting, except I've been like doing my job, like filming and editing videos again. Because last week I took a week off for literally no reason. I was still doing things, but not like filming. It was silly, honestly. I don't know what happened. But last weekend, more excitingly, we went to Worlds of Fun in Kansas City.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was so much fun. Like, Daniel has been wanting to ride roller coasters for years. He's been talking about it. And like on the West Coast, really the only close by amusement park would be like Disneyland or California Adventure situation. I think there's a Six Flags in California, but I've never been. So we decided to go to Worlds of Fun, and it was funny being there as like childless adults, because it was like we were like like we had fun, obviously, because we're fun and like we like each other, and like we were just joking around, goofing off. But we were like, how much would this suck with kids? Like, can you imagine how much this would suck? Because we were like, oh, let's go on this ride, let's go on this ride, let's go on this ride. And like all we had to carry was like our phones and like our sunglasses and like a credit card. Like literally that's it, or a debit card. And it was just so funny, like looking around. Well, it's not funny. I'm not laughing at these people, but like people there with all their kids are having to like ride all these tiny spinny rides. And we're like, oh, that sucks. So we went on all like the big roller coasters, like at least twice each. It was super fun. We were taking Dramamine all day long because we both have really bad motion sickness issues. And we both have issues with that, like in cars. Like we get car sick. Okay, so what are we doing in an amusement park? So something that was really funny is there was a guess your age stand. Like they either guess your age, your weight, or your birthday. And I was like, oh, we have to do this, Daniel. We will definitely win a prize. Because if they were wrong, you win a prize within 2 years. And Daniel goes up, and I didn't say anything. I stayed quiet. But he goes up and he's like, all right, how old do you think I am? He like takes his sunglasses off. And the guy goes, well, you're definitely in your 20s. And like Daniel and I are trying so hard to keep a straight face. We're like, okay, but like what age? And he's like, okay, my best guess is 25. And Daniel's like, I'm 32, man.
Nice.
So, we won this little bear, and it's now the dogs. And they love it so much. Like it's like way bigger than them, and they like put it in their mouth and carry it around. It's so cute. For some reason they like really love it. I don't know why, but anyway, so yeah, that was basically like the weekend. And after we finished at the park, like it also amusement park food is so expensive. Like I forgot how expensive. Let's just say my account was drained. Like I was like, it's Daniel's birthday, so like I'm gonna foot the bill. And like afterwards I'm like like we were like filling up the car. I was like, I think you should do this one, Daniel. I'm sorry.
Can I borrow some money?
It's a bit low. I'm like, I didn't check because I don't want to know, but I'm pretty sure. Obviously, I would have had enough to fill my tank, but like,
yeah,
I don't want to get that overdraft email. I'm not interested in that. So, anyway, yeah, that was the weekend, and then this week has just been working, editing, nothing like truly that exciting, but I have a friend visiting me next week, or she's coming on Saturday, and I fingers crossed, she's like, I really want to help you with the greenhouse and just like keep doing what you regularly do. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, let's do the greenhouse. So I will have extra hands to do that. And so hopefully we can get like a good portion of it done. She's also very artistic. So maybe she can do the mural on like the backside, that big wall. Well, not her alone, but we can do the mural, and like she can be in charge of painting the artistic parts.
You know what I wanted to tell you before I forget? I have like 20 days. I just realized this, which is bad business for me, but I have like 20 days I'm off in October. I don't know how that happened, but if for some reason we can't make this trip happen this year and you're still working on the greenhouse, it's only a month and a half away. I'm just putting it out there, 2 months away. I would love to come and help you with whatever you have. I want hands on that, you know?
You want to put your hands on my project. Okay.
I do. I want credit for that. No, I'm just kidding.
I feel like by October, maybe I'll be working on like the benches. So that's like an easier, like we could do the cactus installation. Like,
yeah.
I'll take you up on it. 100%. I feel like by then, hopefully like the structure will be done, but it's just like fine tuning, like the fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll take you up on it. Adam?
Okay.
You're welcome to come. Potted Together can sponsor your plane ticket, probably.
Yeah, sure can.
And October is like my busiest month.
Really?
I'm going. My sister's getting married, so I'm going back to Nebraska, and then we're going to Indianapolis to visit Steve's family for a week. So like 2 weeks of October, I'm gone.
Dang.
Oh, but you're so close to us. Indianapolis is 5 hours away.
It's not far from me either. We might have to meet up. If you're...
I have an Indianapolis brewery tour.
Nice. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I would
totally
drive
down
there.
for that too.
Yeah.
we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah,
we're gonna just
I'm
steal
totally for
your family trip. We're like, okay, so we're coming. Adam's like,
Yeah,
be like-
I never,
Just be like, Steve, we need to take some pictures. So I'm gonna leave for an
Yeah.
hour.
I've never met his family, so it's gonna be a little like, ooh.
oh, well, let's shift over to you now, Adam. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, well, I did want to comment that I'm so glad that the Mamba is still at Worlds of Fun because it debuted when I was like in high school and we went to ride it, and I feel like I remember the line being like 2.5 hours long to get on that roller coaster.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Okay. Well,
But
listen.
it was like the coolest thing in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's really tall. Like you can see the whole KC skyline. It was really beautiful. And it's extremely tall. But we got the fast passes for the whole park.
Nice.
And like the fast passes at this park, it's not limited to how many times you can use it. Like at Disney, you have to like not apply for it, but you have to like, put in for the fast pass. But with this, like the park wasn't that busy to begin with because it was like a Friday afternoon. I feel like people were in school. But we got the fast pass thing. I think it was like an extra $60 each, which Jesus, yeah, that was expensive. But we didn't have to wait in a single line, not a single line. So like for the Mamba, we walked up to the front, got a great seat, did the ride, and then we got off and Daniel was like, all right, so we're going to go again. And I was like, hold on a second, partner. I need a minute. I have to decompress. Anyway, so then we did it 3 times in a row. Like we got off the ride and ran back up to get in line again. And I'm like, I feel like I'm 15 right now. But Fast Pass at Worlds of Fun, I would highly suggest getting it. It was worth the money, 100%.
Yeah, that's so nice. When I was in line and people would do the fast pass because I didn't have a lot of money growing up. I didn't have my adult money yet.
Yeah.
And there's no way my parents were gonna. I would get so mad because like they always got, they always take that line first.
Yeah.
Right. See.
So, yeah.
It sucks.
But
I know.
it's fine.
I feel like it's almost unfair. But, like, these people can just pay for it. If I had a family of, like, 4 or whatever, like, I would not pay for 4 of us to have it. Like, no way. No way.
Yeah, it was a special occasion. No, I'm not. You shouldn't feel any shame for having it. I just remember being younger and being like, this is so unfair.
No, I empathize with young Adam. I totally do. I do. That's why it was, like, it was so interesting going as an adult with adult money. Because it was, like, I didn't grow up with a ton of money as a kid either. And so like we got off one of the rides and Daniel saw the picture. He's like, let's buy it. And I'm like, what? Like, that's so wasteful. Like, why would we buy it? Like, in what world would we buy this? You know what I mean? And like, we didn't pack snacks. Like it was an inner child healing moment. He's like, let's just get it, whatever. And I was like, okay. So we bought it.
Wait, I got to see this photo.
Yeah.
You have
Oh
to
my
show
God.
it.
I have to. It's so embarrassing. Like he laughed so hard. He's like, truly, that is the most embarrassing photo I've ever seen. I'm like, I agree.
Those are the best.
There's 2. Like one of
Wait,
them.
are you texting them to us?
Yeah, one of them. I look like I'm like calling out to God. Like my hand is raised. Like I was trying to do the hands up roller coaster thing. But it really just looks like I'm sitting in the front of pews, like, listening to the word of God.
Oh, you do.
Wait, we might have
I'm
to post
experiencing
these
the Holy
stories.
Spirit.
The cringe. What happens to your neck and your mouth?
Wait, look at the girl behind Daniel in the tank top.
Yeah, see, they knew where the camera was. Like, we did not know. We've never been to this amusement park. Like, if you've been to amusement parks multiple times, you know where the cameras are.
Yeah.
We did not know. And so the Prowler, like, okay, see, this...
Why do you look like an old woman in that photo?
The Prowler photo?
Yes.
Because every
Give it a zoom
piece,
in.
like literally my whole face is so tight. Like, I look like I'm in agony.
The poor kid in the front row of the Prowler looks like he's getting elbowed in the eye by that woman next to him.
I know. See, this is like embarrassing that we have these photos, but we also have these photos of 4 other people like in high def. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's true. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
I am notorious for making really bad faces on roller coasters just because I'm an expressive person. Everything is on my face. It's all written on my face. See, Daniel, you can tell he's on a roller coaster, but he looks like he's having fun.
Yeah.
Like, I look mortified in both of these photos.
Wait, what if we posted these on Patreon? Would Daniel be okay with that?
Oh yeah,
people to see?
I know I made a TikTok of it, so I mean I don't really care what he thinks.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I haven't seen the TikTok
I haven't
yet.
seen it either.
Let's see if it posted. No, I tried to post it. I don't know if it worked.
Oh my gosh, these are the best though. These are classic.
Oh my god, it's gone. I don't know what happened to it. I was trying to post it and then we got on this and it might have not worked. Anyway, pretty dang funny.
So good, Becca. So good.
Probably my worst roller coaster faces ever, although I have done like pretty close to bad. Yeah. Anyway. Adam.
Oh my gosh. I freaking love roller coaster ride pictures. I don't know. It's just my favorite thing ever.
Yeah. Do you
got
so
some
you
good
go to
ones,
Disney,
Steve.
like, do you buy them now, Adam?
Well, Disney, I did the Genie Plus because I have adult money. So
Yeah.
it's like the Fast Pass thing. So you get them free with that. You get
Nice.
your photo passes included,
Oh, that's
which
cool.
is a
That's
big
nice.
pull for Disney. Excuse me. It's a big pull for Genie Plus because to buy the photos by themselves, I'm pretty sure it's like $100 or something.
Wow.
Yeah. It was $15 or $16 a photo for those. I'm like, what? It is so wild to me.
I just sent you guys a photo that when I was in Disney, I went on a roller coaster with Luke Antunes, who is also a plant guy,
Yeah.
and he knew where the photo was. So like he just has
Yeah,
a
like
perfect face and smile, and you can see. Do you see my arm?
Yeah.
Because for some reason in my head, I think that if I hold the thing down, it will never malfunction.
but
So the whole
also
time I'm like pressing it into my body, thinking that if this unlocks, like my strength will hold me into this roller coaster.
but also you're holding a GoPro in the other hand. So you can't be
Yeah.
that scared.
But look how hard I'm holding it though. Look at my face.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
See, you guys so you guys wore your sunglasses and like glasses on these rides. I would be afraid that they'd fly off my face.
Okay, see, I was terrified. Like for the one where I had looked like my head got thrown back like, on the Prowler, I think.
Yeah.
I was holding my glasses on my face like this for most of the ride. And Daniel was like, Becca, open your eyes, like look around. And I'm like, I am. I'm looking. I just have to hold my glasses because they're gonna fly off. And he like thought that was so funny. He's like, why didn't you wear contacts today? I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking.
Yeah.
But no, I was like holding my glasses on my face so they wouldn't fly off.
because some rides
And I
go
have the
upside
little
down.
behind the ear thing. I have the
Oh,
little behind the
okay.
ear stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's smart.
Oh,
Okay.
Good pictures, guys. Good pictures. I don't have any. Sorry to break it to you.
Ride photos are just my favorite. My week's been pretty boring. I'm full on into, I talk about this all the time, but Big Brother, it's getting juicy. It's getting scandalous. We love it. Yesterday, 2 days ago, 2 days ago, Tuesday, I had a FedEx delivery of my beneficial bugs, which I was like, okay, I get them every month. So I open up the box and like open up the flaps and literally just like screamed almost like inside, because whenever I'm scared, I don't like, I'm never vocally scared. I freeze like a fainting goat. Like my muscles just freeze, and someone could probably just knock me over. But apparently it was like free ladybug giveaway month, because on the top of my package was like this clear netting package with just like 1,500 ladybugs crawling around.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And I was not expecting to see that, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So at first I thought they packed my order incorrectly, but apparently it was just a free ladybug giveaway. But I can't release those in my house because my cats would go insane.
Yeah.
Like, so I put them in the fridge, because apparently you can keep them in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. So there's currently a thing of ladybugs in the fridge.
Oh, sleeping?
And my just snoozing. So my friend Jessie said she would take them. So I'm going to give them to her tonight.
What the
That's
heck?
why they're in the fridge.
I feel like that's sort of a strange thing just to like spring on someone. Like, oh, here's some ladybugs.
Yeah, because, the beneficial mites are tiny. You can't even see them. And it comes in like a little like seasoning jar for like what you would have seasoning in, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's just like got a bunch of like materials in there that they like eat or live on or whatever. So you don't really see creepy crawlies. But when I opened up that box and saw those ladybugs just scurrying, I mean, they were contained, obviously. They're not just like free in the box, but it was very
Still.
unsettling.
Yeah, I'd be freaked out.
And I was like, let's not do that again. Nature's good, guys.
Yeah.
No more surprises.
That reminds me of wait, now that's something you talked about in Patreon. I'm not going to mention it here. Never mind.
Well, now I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's cut this part out. Tell us.
When a certain family member brought a child as a surprise.
Oh, the surprise
yeah.
child.
Was that a
Yeah.
Patreon episode, or did you bring... No. You talked about that in your Hoya podcast. See, now I'm getting all turned around. Adam. So
Oh, that was Adam.
I did talk about it.
You talked about it in
Right.
your Hoya one. I swore that because I knew it wasn't
Head
this
over
podcast.
to Let's Talk Hoya.
It's really
No, I'm
hard.
just kidding.
It's hard to like have the Patreon and this and like listen to all these different things because it does get confusing. Like I forget what we talk about on here and the Patreon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I repeat stories constantly.
Yeah, I probably do too.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, not much is going on. Like I know that this is probably late. That obviously this is going to be released later than it's recorded. But Olivia Newton-John died this week, and I'm really sad about it.
Oh, I know. That's sad.
I know.
Did you see John
What is-
Travolta's post?
Oh yeah, I posted it. I cried. So sweet.
Hopelessly devoted to you. I love that song.
I also love Xanadu, which is not a film that like tons of people watch.
Oh, I haven't
but
seen
it was Olivia Newton-John was basically some sort of like alien-ish on roller skates. It was good. It's got some great music. Loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just makes me kind of sad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, why can't people live forever, you know?
I know. Well, maybe you should have got bit by that
Yeah.
bat. And you could've.
Seriously. Could have been like Age of Adeline.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if the bat was actually a vampire
I mean,
and it was up to no
hot.
good. Kind of hot.
kind of. Well, maybe he'll send some friends over. Maybe there'll be another opportunity. We'll just wait and see.
Oh,
I'm like imagining the plot of a romance book, like a dark romance book where like the protagonist, she's like in her apartment brooding, and then like a bat comes in, and then she's like, "Oh, gross," and she's trying to get rid of it, and then it turns out it's like this like hot, sexy vampire that like wants to like show her his skills from the last 300 years, and she's like, "I guess I won't call animal control." I can see it. Like, what in the Wattpad is that?
Oh my god.
As long as her name's Nicole, you got a storyline here.
Becca, write this down. Stephanie Meyer, the Twilight series, started at a 50 Shades of Grey fan fiction, so you know.
There you go.
Oh, flip that, but yes.
Oh my god.
50 Shades was Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, that's fine. You got all the right components, just in the wrong order.
Gotcha. Okay, should we get into the meat and potatoes of the episode at 43 minutes?
Meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes. We wanted to do just a chatty plant update because we haven't done one yet in season 5.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of us have things to chat about. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I could give some updates too. But is anybody raring to go about your updates?
No.
No.
Even though this was your idea, this topic. Okay, I could go. I'll spit some facts about my plants real quick. Let me think about it. Okay, so I've come to the realization, I hope I didn't talk about this already, but I've come to the realization that I'm going to need to repot all of my cactus. Well, because one, they're all outside and the spiders have set up shop out there. Like those are their plants right now, and I'm not even going to fight them anymore on it. So there's that. Like, I don't want to bring in, like, these spiders out here are massive. I don't even know what kind they are, but they're like just big. And I don't have like a huge fear of spiders per se. Like, I know that they're the better bug to have around, but when they're that big, like, I just don't. And they're fast. So I just don't want to bring them in. Anyway. I'm going to repot most of my cactus because I'm realizing I haven't repot these cactus in like literally like 3 years, like since the start of my plant collection. I've had most of them since then, and they've been in the same pots. And I checked the roots the other day, and a lot of them have roots coming through the bottom of the terracotta. So yesterday, I ordered myself a big old bag of De La Tanks, and I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna like do a video. I'm gonna make a whole day of it because it's gonna take me a whole day, and I'm gonna repot most of them before I bring them back in. I think I'm gonna do that though, like end of August. Usually I'll wait until like the first week of October to bring them in, but I want to repot them while it's still reasonably warm outside. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm kind of over it this year of them being out there, even though they've gotten to be pretty big. Like, a lot of them have a lot of new growth on them. I'm just ready for it to, like, for me to get it over with. Like, the more I think about all the work it takes to bring plants back in the fall, I just want to do it sooner. Just get them in the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I feel like, well, you may not want to do this, but you can, because some of yours, you have varying sizes of cactus. You could create, like, if you got some wide, shallow dishes, you could create like tiny, like multiple little cactus garden pots.
Yes.
So it's not individually potted.
Yeah.
You could have like 4 or 5 in one pot kind of thing.
I am going to do that. I got this new set of planters from this company that I cannot remember the name of, and I'm going to do that. And they're shallow and they're like bowls, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, there's some that I can put together for sure, and I did that 1 year ago, like a while ago, and I recently took them out of there because like a couple died in each container, and I wanted to like get the root rot out or whatever. But I love doing that. I love planting cactus together and just having them coexist. So
I'm still so impressed about your ability to keep cactus alive. in the Midwest.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really that. I'm not doing anything special. I mean, I fertilize with a cactus fertilizer. I've been using De La Tanks, like regular De La Tank soil. And I keep them on a heat mat all through winter and under my grow lights. So I feel like I'm tricking them, like I'm psyching them out. Like they're like, ooh. I'm in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Psych.
Absolutely. I think the heat mat is probably like a big part of it too. Like that, when the soil is warm, that's going to keep the plant moving.
Yeah, and I haven't had them for very long. Like I just got the heat mats probably right after we moved in here, so over a year ago. And I've had cactus for a long time before then, but I've just always tried to keep them in the warmest place and have grow lights on them since I got grow lights, and they've been fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've lost some cacti in my day. But yeah, I have I have some string of pearls, regular string of pearls, a variegated string of pearls, and some string of hearts that have not been doing good at all. I have them in this like small little IKEA greenhouse thing. It's like the little one.
Yeah.
And ever since I put them in there, like I'm losing strands. And I'm like, what is your problem? I don't know what their deal is, but.
I really hate strings of things.
Do you? I love them when they're beautiful, you know?
Yeah, no, I do love looking at them. I just for my own care, I just really hate them.
Yeah, they're divas, man. It's so hard to, like, you could do nothing to them and then they thrive, and then you change up what you're doing and they're like, fuck you, I'm done with life.
And also repotting them is a nightmare.
It really is. I think my whole
absolute nightmare
string of things, like the reason I love them so much, or like goals, is because of Christian, that crazy plant guy. Like his string of things, well, especially his string of hearts, are just like always phenomenal. And I'm like, okay, I want mine to look like that eventually. But I had a string of bananas that was pretty impressive for a while, and I had it outside for a long time, and then I repotted it, and like you said, when you repot it, it's like I lost half of it and then it just died.
Yeah. Oof.
Mm-hmm. But that's about it with my collection. I mean, I really haven't purchased any new plants recently, which I have been getting a little bug to. Like I've been wanting to go to the plant shop, some new plant shops that I haven't checked out yet, and see what they got. And I think I want to do that obviously before fall. But I haven't really lost any other plants recently. I'm trying to think. Yeah, not that I haven't thrown anything out recently.
Yeah. I do have this shelf. You remember my shelf above my shower that I had like all those beautiful plants on?
Yes.
Well, not so much anymore.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, Adam.
Oh, did I cut her off?
No, her phone was on mute.
Yeah, I went potty. Sorry.
That's
Didn't
what I
think
did
you'd
just
want
a
to
second
hear
ago.
a little tinkle.
little tinkies. Well, the plants are no longer on that shelf. Like I showed you guys the Billietier that's on my dresser.
Yeah.
Because, there were some mishaps. I really need to just cut it back and start again. And, I don't mind doing that kind of stuff. But there are like plants up there that I just literally haven't watered. It has to have been like a year now.
Wow.
There's a ZZ, a green ZZ, and a couple Sansevierias / Dracaena. And my Frydek was up there. The Frydek is fried.
Ooh,
it's a
really?
fried deck.
It's a fried deck. Oh, dear.
Dang it.
But I feel like we all have those spaces in our homes where we have like a dead plant that we're just like literally not doing anything with. It's just still.
Wait.
At least I do.
I think that this was on your other podcast, right? One of your co-hosts talked about how she has a shelf that she just puts all of her dead plants at, and then every once in a while when she's mentally stable, she goes there and she cleans it up. That's such a good idea to do that.
The plant graveyard. That was
the plant
Jessie,
graveyard.
Yeah.
Jessie, yes. That was such a good idea.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I don't know why I have those pots up there. Like the plants, the Sansevieria and the ZZ are still green, even though some of them have died back. But like they're still just like, after a year of no water, they're still just like, we're still here.
I cannot even fathom that. That is...
Oh my gosh.
Maybe they're living off of the humidity in the shower. They have to be, right?
Yeah, well, I would say possibly like before, BC, before COVID, but
BC.
because Steve showered every day before work because he would go into the office.
Yeah.
And since I was working from home, it was sporadic.
Yeah.
But now that we're both working from home for the past 2 years, the showering is
diminished.
It's not daily.
You're doing your job as an Arizonian to conserve water. I'm proud of you.
That's exactly it.
I'm proud of you.
Exactly.
So yeah, mentally, I'm just not prepared to go up there. But the funny thing is, when I was having that shelf, people commented on that video, or people comment on my Instagram. They're like, I would never do that because I would never get up there to water. And I was like, well, I always get up there to water, and it's no big deal. A year later, I'm like, I ain't getting up there to water shit.
We need an update. We need a shelf update.
Oh, it's embarrassing. But as far as plant updates, I'm still semi-battling the mites, but not so much. I'm just really happy that a lot more information has come out about these mites, because you guys know I've been dealing with them since 2020, and I feel like I was screaming into the void.
Yeah, you really were.
And no one was saying anything. No one really had them, but I suspected that everybody had them, because when I would see knobby growth on people's Hoyas, I'm like, I bet those are the mites. And when people are like, this Hoya just won't grow, I'm like, I bet you have mites. But now it seems like everybody is
Well, Becca, did you find anything else out after I saw that post? She got a magnifying glass.
Yeah, well, the Velosa has them, and I'm certain that the Obovata Splash has them too, because it's doing the same thing. So that's all I've seen so far, and I actually do wonder if my Hoya Obovata has it, because that hasn't put out new growth since I moved here 2 years ago, pretty much. It's put out 2 leaves, and I'm like, So I honestly listen, the idea of boiling them is very appealing to me, because I don't have to do a routine where I spray them however many times a week. And I was listening to an episode, I don't remember what episode this was. Maybe it was this last episode. I don't remember, but it was an episode where Adam was talking about it, and he was saying that they lay eggs in the little crevices, the tiny, tiny crevices, and that's just filled with eggs. Horrifying thought, number one. But number two, you can just eradicate it by boiling them, or not boiling, but putting them in the hot water. That sounds better than doing the sulfur fungicide, or I don't know. Adam, what do you think? Do both, or is just the hot water enough?
Well, if the plants are small, I feel like you could spray them. I guess it's just up to you, because the sulfur fungicide, a Swedish person actually commented on my video, and they said to spray the sulfur fungicide on your plant, which does leave a powdery residue, and leave that residue on there for a week. So anything that crawls through it will die. And then you can rinse it off. But I feel like your cuttings, especially the Obovata intervariegated with Splash and the Velosa, are somewhat small, that I feel like blasting them with water in the sink will blast off, or even outside, a bunch of those mites, but you just have to kind of keep doing that. So I've now been showering my plants every time I water. I just take them all and just blast them with water just in case, but I haven't seen very many mites on my thing. The boiling water thing did work. And again, I have a sous vide. Well, Steve has a sous vide that I used, which maintains the temperature exactly what you set it at.
Yeah.
For as long as it, whatever. And I did 4 of my plants that were like very long vines, like 5-foot vines. There was some damage done. And I also did it at 120 degrees, which is the maximum you should be doing it at. And I probably will knock that down to like 110 degrees if I do it again. But I've had some people say that like they kind of killed their plants. But again, there's just there's a lot of air there, especially if you're not using like a sous vide or a regulator. But it's worth a try.
Yeah.
I would say.
If I could, do either one of you guys have that macro lens thing in your Amazon stores, or can you send me a link? Because I'm convinced that a lot of my plants have them too. Because I have the knobby growth. I have the no growth. Like my gray ghost has not put out any growth pretty much since I gave you a cutting of it.
I mean, I would highly recommend the microscope, to be honest. I mean, the macro lens is good, and it's also fun for you to take photos of your plants with. But the only way I saw it on my macro lens was on the few plants, like Becca's Velosa. Like, I for sure saw it on my Globulosa because they're, like, very bright green, and you can just really see a contrast of, like, a speck.
Oh, okay.
But my other Hoyas that were, like, woody and stuff, like, I could barely see them. But yeah.
Well, can you send me that link then?
Yeah, I will. I'll send you the microscope link.
Okay.
And for the sulfur fungicide, did you just use like a spray, like liquid copper fungicide, ready to use?
I bought the Bonide sulfur fungicide, and it's a powder, so I just put it in my sprayer, and I think like 1 tablespoon to the sprayer, which is not a full gallon, and I just sprayed it all over.
The thing I don't like about the sulfur fungicide is that it leaves that nasty residue all over your plant. Was it easy to like get that off?
Yeah. It was most of it rinses off, but the spots that didn't rinse off, I just needed to take a wet towel too and just give it a little rub with my finger, and it was fine. It didn't stay on there. Okay. It's definitely way easier than hard water spots.
Okay.
But my guess is that you probably do have a lot, Nicole.
I know.
Because I unknowingly had them for how long, and I've given you plants, and there's lots of people that have them.
Yeah, and not only that though, like I have some Hoya that are doing phenomenal. Like I've taken cuttings and they just grow back right away and they're doing so well. And then I have these other Hoya that are just like not doing anything. And it's like, you guys are all getting the same exact treatment. Leca, nutrient water, heat mat, grow light. Like what's your problem? I know plants all grow at different speeds, but no growth in like a year. Like something's up. And it's not dying. Like the plant's not dying. That's what leads me to believe that it's got to be something. It's got to be a pest,
Also, you can use this for powdery mildew for any of our garden girlies out there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Sulfur was really used as like one of the first insecticides, and it's natural because it's a natural element. But I think the reason they've kind of stopped using it, or people have stopped using it so much in like outdoor gardening, is that it also can affect good pests as well. But I just don't want to use a bunch of harsh chemicals indoors. Not that my cats bother my plants, but I just don't want to be spraying really harsh chemicals. So I was happy about the sulfur fungicide, and it doesn't smell as bad as I thought it was going to. And it seems to have worked really well. Like one application and I was good.
Well, maybe I'll do that then, because I really wouldn't want to do the water emulsion thing. Immersion? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not me using the wrong word. I don't really know which word. Emulsion, immersion. Anyway, I would really like to do that, but I don't want to do it unless I have a sous vide, because I don't want to burn up my plants because they're special, especially the ones that have the mites. The Velosas from Nicole, the Obovata Splashes from Adam, and the Obovata, which I'm suspicious. That was one of my first Hoyas I ever bought. Like, I'm kind of attached. I would really hate to kill it. So I'm going to get this stuff and see if that helps. But it was actually so crazy to, you cannot see them at all with your eyes. Like, not at all.
It's
but
so
as
wild.
soon as as soon as you like I was listening to to an episode. Gosh, I don't even remember which one it was, but it was when you were first talking about it. And it was right around the time when I got my macro lens, and I was like, I'm going to look at this. Boom.
Is that how you originally found yours, Adam?
Yeah. I was, because Becca said in our last episode where I kind of talked about it, she's like, you should do a story time. So I think I'm going to do a story time because I hesitate to do informational videos because of reasons.
Yeah.
But a story time video would be fun. It would just be my journey with the mite. So I was going through my photos on my phone and like trying to figure out in the first photo in videos from it was like a Macro Monday. It was October of 2020. And I was
Oh
just
my
like doing my
gosh.
normal like Macro Monday funsies. And then all of a sudden my Gunungatting had these orange specks on them because the sun was hitting it directly. And I was like, what
Yeah.
are those? And then they were like kind of moving a little. And I could only see it in my macro lens, but barely. I just saw an orange speck because of the bright sun. And that was the day that I realized I had some mite.
I remember
And-
the panic texts you sent, and you're like, what the I can't believe it's been that long. You've been dealing with this for a
Yeah.
long time. And
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
I wasn't very proactive in my treatments because I have a ton of Hoya. It's a lot.
Well, and you didn't know what the hell they were because it, like you said, you were right. It seemed like you were literally screaming this into the abyss. Like no one knew what they were,
Yeah.
Ugh,
They're a
Yikes.
pain.
they're a pain.
They're
yeah.
a huge pain.
Yeah. But I feel like somebody like you who has such a beautiful Hoya collection and your Hoya are just huge, it's easy for you to spot an issue like that because if one of your Hoya just stops growing, like you're going to notice it. Like all of mine are tiny shit little Hoya plants, So I'm just like, oh yeah, they're cool. They're just taking their time,
No, they probably have the mites.
I know.
I'm sure the yours would be just as big as mine.
Oh, I know.
It's a horrifying thought.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm
So-
going to stay tuned.
Well, I've got a question now. So my Obovata Splash and now the Velosa. Well, the Obovata Splash, we'll talk about that one. I think it has it real bad because every time it's tried to put out a new leaf, basically since I put it in soil, they fall off. So now I have all these empty nodes or whatever. What do I do with all of that? Is it going to grow a new leaf or is it just done? Should I just cut it?
No. It's done. You should probably just cut it. But you can try to root those bare sticks, kind of like you would with an aeroid where you have a wet stick propagation. I have had success by just putting one of those sticks with the node at the top and like then the next stem just like a little tiny piece, Mm-hmm. I've put it in a cup of soil and put it in my like prop box and it's put off new growth.
Okay.
It rooted and put off new growth because obviously like with aeroids the node of the Hoya is where your new growth will grow. Even if there was no leaves on there, I still did the stem cutting, put it in soil like there was leaves and it put off new growth. So if you have like a long bare stem that all the leaves have fallen off, again they won't regenerate leaves from that point, but it will start a new vine on that hopefully if you cut it. And also by releasing the apical dominance from that growing stem, when you cut it, it'll force the other ones to put out new vines. So you'll actually get a bushier plant. Like
Yeah.
pruning is it's always so good.
Yeah, that's true. Since I've taken cuttings off of my Hoya, they do that, and I'm like, I should just do this not to sell cuttings, but just to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, Becca.
Becca, what you could do though is you could also just put it in a sink of water because it's not a huge cutting, is it? It's maybe like a foot tall.
If that. It's not very big.
Yeah.
It's trying
and
to
just
be
scrub
big,
it with
but
scrub it with like a soft bristle toothbrush and just like keep doing that. But yeah, I'm sure that probably has it because my Obovata Splash had it
yeah.
before when I didn't know. And it still grew, but some of the leaves came in kind of wonky. And at first I was like, oh, this is a nitrogen deficiency, which it could be. But I was always fertilizing it the same.
Yeah.
And then once I started treating it, the leaves started coming in more normal.
See, the cutting that you gave me has been growing nonstop since you gave it to me. Like, it's doing really well, but the leaves are coming in curly, and I've done nothing different with my nutrient water.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
Those
it's still
little
growing.
bastards, I tell ya.
Still growing. Hey, you know, like, sometimes I'm just like, you're growing, you're cool, you're drinking your water, I don't see the mites. It's like if a tree falls in a forest, if a tree falls in a forest and you don't hear it, did it make a sound? do they exist if I don't see them? It's such a problem I don't want to deal with, you know?
Yeah, it's mentally exhausting. It really is. It gets you in a place where you're just like, I want to throw everything out. And I've been there. And, you know, it helped me get rid of a few plants that I didn't really care about. I was just kind of keeping because they were there and I felt guilty. But when it was like, when I found mites all over it, I was like, no, thank you.
Bye-bye.
I'm not even going to treat you. I'm just going to toss you.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
That is one positive about pests, is you realize which plants really have your heart and which ones you're like, this was an obligation.
That's true.
And I'm
Yeah.
releasing
That's so
myself from
true.
this obligation. Like when I found spider mites with you guys, like there
Yeah.
were so many of my plants that I was like, oh yeah, I like it, but it's not like the plant. Like
Yeah.
all my syngonium, pretty much all of them got tossed because I'm like, nope, not worth it to me. But my elbow syngonium I kept because she's a special queen, and I scrubbed
Yeah.
her for like an hour for 3 days straight, waited 5 days, did it again 3 more days. And she was released of the spider mite madness. But like, I was not going to do that for every plant. If I don't care about it, I'm not going to slave over it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
She was a queen. She deserved it.
yeah, she's lived many beautiful lives.
Hopefully we're coming to the end of this infestation and
Yeah.
yeah.
So, any other updates for you guys? Becca, do you have potted plants outside still?
Yeah, so I've got my ficus. I've got 3 ficus outside. My trusty ficus. Oh wait, no,
They're still just hanging
3
in
of
there.
them. They're just hanging in there. Like literally, I used to say ficus are like some of the hardest plants in the world. I don't think so anymore. I think they're very easy. Just freaking ignore them. Like just don't look at them. Water them once a month, if that. Like don't take
If
that advice actually, but that's what I do. Like when I bring it in after summertime, they drop a bunch of leaves, and then next summer, okay, they drop a bunch of leaves. They don't do anything. Next summer, I put them out. They put out like 9 more leaves.
Yeah,
And then-
that's my fiddly fig.
Yeah, like I don't know. I have a fiddle. I have my first houseplant ever. I forgot what it's. Oh, the burgundy ficus rubber tree.
Oh, yeah. Except for
And then I
that
have
one. That's the one, right?
No, that one died finally.
That was the Taneki.
Oh, that was a
Or no, it
Taneki.
was the Altissima.
Altissima. Yeah. Finally, I let it
Oh.
die because it had like one leaf that was like an inch tall, and I'm like, okay, we're done. Like officially, we are done. And I put it in the garage. Okay, funny story. I put it in the garage because it was dead. All right. Well, it wasn't like fully dead yet, but you know what I mean. Bare stem.
You were trying to kill it.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it to be done. And Daniel comes in one day and I see him holding this pot and he's like, oh, I found this in the garage. Like, isn't this your plant? And I was like, no. Like, go put that back out there. Like, that's not, like, I'm done with that plant now.
We don't know her.
Yeah, he's like, okay. I'm like, put it outside, please. I forgot about that already. I've already moved on and you just brought it back up. Like, re-traumatized me. But
She can't sit with us. No.
exactly. So, yeah, I've got that one, and then I have that really big Thematophyllum outside,
Oh.
and
Oh, yeah.
I'm
What's
really
gonna-
praying that I can get the greenhouse done so that it doesn't have to go in my house.
Yeah,
She's
a big boy.
huge. Like, I honestly think I'm gonna have to separate it out because it's in like a 20-inch pot and it was already too big for that pot, like when I potted it. And I'm like, I don't
Wow.
think pots get any bigger. I'm gonna have to, well, I guess I could trim the roots, right?
Yeah.
But it's pretty insane. So if I can get the no. When I get the greenhouse done this fall, the ficus, the thaumatophyllum are going in there. My alocasia hilo green or hilo beauty, and no, colocasia. Every time I mention this plant, someone messages me and is like, actually, it's reclassified as this. I'm like, okay, thank you. But like, I'm still going to get it wrong every time. So like, it's not that I'm not thankful. That's about to sound really rude. It's not that I'm not thankful. I really should be using the correct name. But like, I'm going to forget every single time. Like it was reclassified, I think, as a caladium. I'm going to forget every time. Anyway. Those will hopefully go in the greenhouse, and then hopefully I can like take cuttings of my basil, take cuttings maybe of my tomato and grow them in the greenhouse. I don't know. I just like I'm thinking like I'm going to have a section for food in the greenhouse where I'm still going to grow food over the winter, hopefully. I can still grow lettuce and stuff like outside, but inside I'm like thinking about what I'm going to grow. Like definitely tomatoes because that's easy and like mostly compact. But yeah, but as far as my plants, gosh, I ordered a Soltec light.
Did you?
You did. The pendant?
Yep, I did. We were talking about it when were we talking about this?
Last week, I think, right?
Or 2 weeks, because we didn't record last
2 weeks
week.
Ago.
It had to be recently we were talking about it. But yeah, so I finally ordered it. I got the 40 watt, which might be a little intense. I'm not sure. But I don't know how to, like, I was looking at it and like online it said the 20 watt is like for plants that can handle low light. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put a Monstera deliciosa underneath it. And like those can handle low light. But like, I don't want to give it the bare minimum. It's also going to be kind of far away from the light. Like, I don't know. I just got the 40 watt because it's only $50 more and I have peace of mind.
Yeah.
So that's another plant where I'm like, this plant is way too big and I'm scared for like, I'm getting to the point, like remember when Adam was like, oh all my Hoyas are too big. Like I'm getting to that point with some of my plants now and like I'm attached to them. I don't want to cut them up. I don't want to separate them out, but like they're too big.
Yeah.
They're getting a little out of control. Gosh, there's like 4 fungus gnats flying around me right now, too.
My Thai constellation put out a new leaf that was like double the size of the last new leaf, which was already big. And now it just sent me, like I was really excited about it, but it sent me into a panic of like, what the hell am I going to do with this plant? Like, I just don't know.
Yeah. I know.
But I love it so much.
I know. And like, honestly, the thought of like cutting up my plants and selling pieces of them makes me really sad. I don't want to do that. I just like am not a person that can do that. You guys both do that. I can't do it. I'm too emotionally invested in their care. Like I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have a hard time even gifting plants to people because I don't know what is wrong with me. I hate cutting up my plants. I really do. I don't know why.
I really don't cut up aeroids, just FYI. Like, it's really hard for me to cut them up. But the Hoya, no big deal.
It's probably because Hoya are just easy growers to begin with. They ship really well. So, like, if you're looking to gift somebody a plant and you need to ship it to them, it's like surefire way, it'll make it to them.
Yeah.
But... yeah, aeroids, I don't even really have many aeroids that I would cut up at this point because none of mine are big enough. But my Melanos, she's putting out a new leaf and she is cute.
Becca, where are you going to put this Soltec light?
Yeah.
In my bedroom, you know that huge mirror?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My special mirror.
I love that mirror.
Yeah. Next to that, yeah, I think like that corner needs something. And right now it just has a dog bed in it. So Leo's getting evicted and he's going to have to go somewhere else. But yeah, like anytime it starts turning into winter, I get into this mode where I'm like, oh, I need to improve my home. I need to like nesting. Ew, I hate saying the word nesting, but like ew, I hate that I just even said that. I don't know why, but that word like cringes me out so bad. But,
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like anytime like pregnant women are like, oh, I'm just nesting. I'm like, ew, that's so gross. Don't say that. Just kidding. I mean, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. I understand the concept, but just for some reason it just creeps me out. Like, it just creeps me out. It's like, we're animals. Like, we are animals, but I don't want to be reminded that I'm an animal. Like, it's gross.
But also, I think that you're probably feeling that way because you're about to spend all of your time inside.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm like soaking up every moment I can be outside. And I'm also thinking like, ooh, what can we fix? Like, okay, I went to Menards today to look at countertops.
Maybe you can put a door on your bathroom. Maybe?
Oh, we did that.
Maybe?
We did it. The door's been there for a couple weeks. I forgot to update you.
Okay.
Yeah, see that. Oh, like, you know what? I think it was the episode where we talked about, like, the one that literally just came out for us. It was he's a 10, or they're a 10. I think that's the episode where we talked about all these things. But yeah, the door has been put on and it's been great. Like,
nice.
It's been awesome. Love having a bathroom
Pooping
door.
in private.
Daniel and I got really close over the last couple months not having it, but it's been great. So yeah,
good for your marriage.
Gonna finish the bathroom little update, and I'm planning a kitchen update, but I want new countertops, and I went to Menards today to look at how much it would cost. Astronomical. And I was just like walking around. It was like $3,500 and I don't even want anything crazy. It was like quartz, $3,500.
Wow, that seems pretty reasonable. You got a lot of counter space.
Well, you do.
Do I?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you have like a U shape, and that one part where you guys like could sit and eat at like a bar it's wide.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's 55 square feet total. And I didn't think that I had that big of a kitchen, though. But I guess it is a lot of counter.
It's a lot of counter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, shoot. Yeah, so it was like $3,500. And he handed me the paper. I'm like trying to play it off. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, just got to talk to the husband. But like, I'm like walking away, like folding up the paper. Like, I'm never going to see this paper again. I'm not paying that. So I have to start selling stuff to make the money, Like, I'm like, what can I sell? Yeah. Only plants, like, what can I do?
Only plants. Someone start that app.
Somebody start the app. You have our permission. But yeah, so I don't know. Other than that, I haven't, like, my plants have been pretty solid. I've had spider mites. I've been finding spider mites, which, like, now when I find spider mites, I'm like literally so chill about it. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it's just like crazy that it doesn't even faze me.
You're like, whatever.
What a journey.
I know, compared to that first time. Like, and for a long time, I would get the creepy crawlies. But since I moved to this house, I don't know. I just feel so much more chill about it. So, like, I started using this spray called 7. I just found it at a garden center. Like, I don't know. I probably should get, like, Captain Jack's or whatever. No one ever talks about 7, but it says spider mites on the label. So that's why
7.
I bought it.
I've used it. I've used it before.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it works.
Yeah. I like it because, like, I used to be a really big advocate for 8, but, which is funny. Like, why are they just named after numbers? But I used to be a big advocate for 8, but it has, like, a really strong smell. And also it leaves, like, a white film on my plants, which I hate because then you have to shower them off afterwards to get that off. But 7 is clear, doesn't leave any sort of, like, visible film on the plant. So it's not so bad anyway. And that's worked pretty well. But I did go through a situation where I used too strong of dish soap on my Alocasia lauterbachkiana, and the leaves basically disintegrated. It was crazy.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That shit is strong. Like, I did not realize. But yeah, because, like, you can use straight up Dawn dish soap on your dogs when they have fleas. But, like, obviously you have to moisturize your dog after, like, with, like, conditioner, or, like, not do that too often because their skin will start getting all dry. But yeah, like, I was using this was kind of dumb of me, but I had a little glove, and I would squirt the dish soap in my hand. I'd get some water, I'd suds it up, and then I would just use my hand to, like, clean the leaf off. And then I left the soap on the leaf, like, overnight, and then the next day I came back and it was all burnt up. like bad.
Wow.
And like
That
it was
quickly.
I was just pulling it apart, the leaf.
This is a plant that's outside?
No, this is an indoor plant. My Alocasia lauterbachyiana.
Oh.
It's like the long skinny leaf alocasia.
Yeah. Man, it's probably just because you left it on there for so long, because I have used dish soap and like spray like water in a little dish soap on mine.
Yeah,
when I
same.
thought I had spider mites. And it didn't do anything to it, but I washed it off right away.
Yeah. Yep. I see. I used to like mix in rubbing alcohol, water, and dish soap in like a spray bottle. That was like my go-to thing, but I don't know where my spray bottle is, so I haven't been doing it lately. And I would leave that on the plant. I wouldn't rinse it off. But I think just because it was diluted, it was fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I found spider mites on probably like 5 plants, and I've been treating them, and they're all in the clear that I've seen so far. But I think like once you collect houseplants for a while and like you have an awareness of pests, anytime your plant does something weird, like it puts out a new leaf that looks a little off, you're like, okay, that plant has a pest. Like you just know.
Yeah.
It's not even
It's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You just know something's fishy. Anyway, I'm talking a lot and we have a hard stop in 6 minutes. And I feel like
You're not
in
No,
my
you're talking
mind
a lot.
at all.
in my mind you guys are like, oh my god, is she gonna shut up so that we can wrap this up?
Stop it for
Not even a thought.
not even.
I'm like trying to like
But we do have a hard
speed through.
stop.
Yeah, we
have a hard
do.
stop, unfortunately.
We do.
But this was fun.
Was that all the updates we had?
Yeah, I think so for me.
Man,
Yeah,
I could do a
coming
part
into
2 next
winter.
week. Like I've got so much.
I know. Well, we definitely probably will do another one this season, especially maybe as we get closer to the season change too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know people are interested in hearing about that.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening today. We really appreciate you being here. Don't forget we have a Patreon, which we give extra episodes each month to our patrons, as well as the heads up on our merch and new
our
merch that
merch.
possibly could be coming. So you can head over to Patreon and subscribe to us, $5 a month. And it really helps us, keep this pod going and design merch and get all that situated. And it's just something we really enjoy. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube, and you can follow us individually on Instagram. Well, follow the pod on Instagram at pottedtogether. But individually, I'm at NotDude. Nicole is at My Clean Leaves, and Becca is at De La Plants. And I think that's it for our housekeeping outro, right?
I think so.
Okay, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.